Welcome to Home and Away, hosted by myself, Graeme Spice and Glen, where we discuss all things World Cup. This episode, we're joined by Kjetil from Norway Spurs to preview the England-Norway game and discuss the other matches in the last week. A lot to talk about, so let's get into it.
Let me be the one that you turn to, someone you can rely on, closer each day, home and away.
Hey Glenn, how you doing?
I'm good, Graeme. I'm good. It's 7:15 in the morning here. I just finished the Spain-Belgium game, which was a bit of a bore fest, really. Wasn't a great game, I didn't think. But no, I'm well. I'm still bouncing off the walls, I think, after the Mexico game. Quite something to go and do that in the Azteca. How are you, Graeme? You keeping well?
I'm still tired from Monday. I've really struggled this week, and I've travelled as well. I was in Holland yesterday.
Yeah.
So it was kind of overnighter, but just a bit exhausted and trying to get my energy levels back up for tomorrow night.
Certainly keen, and we'll come to it in a little bit, I'm sure. I want to get your story on how you consume the England game and how that was for you in the middle of the night, because I do that all too often being in Australia. But before we do that, Kjetil, welcome to Home and Away. Thanks for joining us. Whereabouts in Norway are you?
Well, thank you for having me. I live in a small town in the northwestern part of Norway called Ålesund. So we are 50,000 people in this town, but it's still the largest one in our general area. Yeah.
What time is it there for you? Is it midnight or 11?
11 now.
And this is my naivety. Has the sun set yet? Is it still light there, or is it how close are you to the Arctic Circle?
Well, in this part of summer, it never gets really dark. The sun actually goes beyond the horizon, but it never gets dark now.
Oh, incredible. So. Yeah, incredible. Well, welcome. Thanks again for joining us. We're keen to obviously get into all things Norway and England and the World Cup. I think that's maybe where we start, Graeme, given our guest is from Norway. How are you feeling, Kjetil, about Norway's progression in the tournament, first quarter-final? How are you feeling ahead of the England game? There's a lot of talk in England amongst our fans and media that it's all about stopping Haaland. I actually think that's a bit disrespectful to many other Norwegian players and you as a team. But how's the Norway feel ahead of it? Are you nervous? Do you feel there's how are you going to stop Kane and Bellingham? I guess I'll volley back. But how are you feeling ahead of the game?
Well, you guys, you are used to going far into tournaments now. So for us, I grew up with the Norwegian success in the 90s with our then very, very, for others than us, boring football, where 4-5-1 formations and long balls, and what the then coach Egil Olsen called best without the ball.
Yeah.
Everything was reactive to whatever the other one was doing and counterattack.
Sounds a bit Thomas Frank, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not dissimilar, no. And then we had 20-something dark years, and then we suddenly have this, I would call it a golden generation now. As we haven't, for a couple of years now, we haven't lost one competitive match except for the group stage game against France, where we didn't play any of our regular.
Wow.
So we are in a extremely successful wave of results now, and it's hard to really take in actually, because we have we're not used to this. So for every game we win, I never really thought we would do that well against Brazil. I mean, we are a different kind of team. I can't believe this is actually a Norwegian national team playing like 65% possession against Brazil. What the?
It's mad, isn't it?
You know, I read that since they started counting those things in 1966 when you guys won, this is the lowest percentage of ball possession that Brazil has ever had in a World Cup game.
Fascinating.
Wow. Yeah.
So this is about. I've been doing quite a lot of thinking about this game now the last few days, and as most Norwegians, we know the English players and the English teams and English football, Premier League. We watch the Premier League every week. We know these players very well, and of course we know the Norwegian players, also those not playing in England, very well. And it's a hard one to predict. From my point of view, this is well, I will call it maybe a 60-40 England.
Yep.
Like that, but I will be up and about. I won't be able to sit still for those 2 hours that the game. I stood for the last 45 minutes in my living room
Me and you,
against Brazil.
me and you both, except obviously mine was the England-Mexico game. But yeah, I
Yeah.
won't be able to sit still for the Norway game either. It's do you know what's a real shame, Kjetil, for me is the conditions that the game's going to be played in. Because I think, like to your point, it's got the makings to be the energy and the quality of a Premier League game. But in 34-degree heat and 100% humidity, it's really going to have an impact. Which I think is going to be a shame because I would love to have seen this played in one of the air-conditioned stadiums and just watch 22 players who a lot play in the Premier League just go at it. It would have been a great spectacle. So let's hope for one still. But you've touched in you provided some kind of some good history and research here, but quite a lot of family connections across the Norwegian team. One being that would be familiar to our Spurs fan listeners. Is it Christian Thorstvedt is the son of Erik Thorstvedt, but not a goalkeeper, correct?
No, he's a winger now. Plays in Italy. I have in my call it hobby/job as a journalist for the Norwegian supporter magazine.
Oh, cool.
I have interviewed Erik Thorstvedt a couple of times, and I talked to him about how it was having a footballing son also, and I think it's the perfect perfect way to be supportive of your. Well, Erik, he knows what it's like, what we have to sacrifice to be a top level professional footballer. So I think he got everything he needed from his parents from a very early age, as I understood from Erik. And we have a couple of others also.
Have you interviewed Haaland, Erling Haaland? Have you met him?
No, I haven't. He's a hard guy to come by, actually.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm sure his popularity now, obviously, because he was do you pronounce it Molde, where he was originally in Norway?
He started out in a place called Bryne. But as quite a young guy, he went to Molde. Molde is a team that's been playing quite a lot of games in Europa League for a few years. So for some of you, it should be a known club. But
was that was Solskjaer the manager in that period?
Solskjaer was the manager at the same time as Haaland was there. Yeah. So I think Haaland got quite a few tips on what the Solskjaer was a prolific finisher.
Yeah.
He had a very good shot, smart shot in him.
They couldn't be physically more different, could they?
No, not at all. But still,
look, for me, ahead of the game, it's going to be a fascinating matchup because we've actually got defenders in our team who play with Haaland, but everyone's saying, oh, that's a positive for England, but then Haaland would know their weaknesses as well, right? He plays with them week in, week out. He trains with them. But then there's the Dan Burn, Esri Konsa angle where apparently Haaland's only scored one goal against the two of them combined across, I think, about 9 or 10 games. So it's a fascinating contest. And watching that Brazil game, Haaland, he's a freak. He doesn't move. He moves, but he doesn't run. It's so interesting to watch his dynamic.
And it's so deliberate. He really knows what he's doing, yeah? He doesn't need to. He's, with Kane and Mbappe and all these other guys, just as good players, but when they are not involved in the game, they go searching for the ball, go drop deep to play to get the touches, to just do something. Haaland doesn't need that. He just he looks disinterested almost. Yeah. And then suddenly, bam, he's there, right?
Yeah,
it's very by design.
It's almost like when you watch him play, if he had a dog lead and a dog on the end of it, you wouldn't be surprised he's just out walking the dog. He just looks so relaxed.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm quite interested because he has Braut Haaland on his shirt. Am I right? Is that his mother's maiden name?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. So I saw about that. So yeah.
Born in England though, wasn't he? He was born in Leeds.
He was born in Manchester, yeah.
Manchester, yeah.
So he lived there for 4 or 5 years something while his father finished his career.
Yeah, because he was at Forest, wasn't he? And then
Forest,
and then
Leeds,
City.
and City. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Graeme, I'll bring you in on the ahead of, and I'd like to cover obviously our last 16 win as well because it was absolutely epic. But how do you see the Norway game, mate? Are you concerned? Do you see it as
I feel like you said that this is like a good Premier League match, like two really well matched teams. I think I would say both teams are probably stronger in attack than defence, which for me could make for a really great game, right? Not as a neutral anyway. I don't know about as an England or Norway supporter, but I'm more worried about our defence. I was even before we started to get injuries. I mean, even at the start of the tournament, I feel like we've really struggled to find a back four that looked solid, and obviously we have conceded goals, and that's the one thing that concerns me. I think very different game to the ones we've played so far. I think I saw that looks like he might not play. Could be injured.
Yeah. But what I find interesting, Graeme, you just touched on it, a very different game, but I think all of our games have been different, and Tuchel seems to have been quite adaptable in those games. Like his in-game management has been quite good for me.
Yeah, he certainly the substitutions he's made have been impactful, right? Like for all of the dog's abuse he got, Jed Spence had a really good cameo in the Mexico game. He came on and him and Dan Burn cleared everything that came near the goal.
Didn't he set some kind of record, Dan Burn, I think?
Yeah, for the amount of time,
longest header, wasn't it?
Well, there was a few. It was for the amount of time that he was on the pitch. He completed the most clearances of any player. And I thought, it's interesting, right? I thought Mexico, in the first half an hour, I thought they were quite threatening and quite good and produced some saves. But then it was two sucker punches from England, right? We draw them on and then we hit them hard and won the ball back for the second one was very impressive. But for us having 10 men, for all of Mexico's bluster, they were quite predictable. Like, it was like, well, okay, you've got half an hour with 10 men or more, really, because we played 11 minutes of extra injury time. It was just balls into the box. And it was quite, I don't want to say it was easy, because it wasn't, but it was predictable.
It did play to our defenders' strengths rather than lower balls would probably have been more troublesome for them. But
And what I loved about Tuchel was he looked at that and he went, "This is what I'm doing. I'm going defensive, and we're just going to weather this storm."
Yeah. And of course we got the third goal.
At a really key time.
Yeah, really. I think it kind of calmed the nerves a bit. We went with the 2-goal gap again.
It was interesting ahead of the tournament. Everybody was mapping out. Obviously, from our persuasion as England fans, was mapping out England's route to the final. And everyone had it as Brazil in the quarterfinal, of course, but it's not. It's Norway, which I'm happy about.
I obviously, Alex, my friend Alex, who's Brazilian, he lives in London, and he's a good friend and good Tottenham fan. He number one, he can't even bring himself to watch this Brazilian team. He said they're like...
I remember you saying
they're the least Brazilian team, I think, in living memory. I think is what he said. So I think they're quite. I think that too many of them have played in Europe and have had all of the Brazilianness beaten out of them.
Yeah.
So they have like if you look at the kind of players that get called up, they're not a patch on what you would have seen in the 90s or
I mean,
2000s.
I remember Brazil in 2002. Rivaldo, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho. I mean, that front three was as good, on a par with the France front three of this World Cup. But just closing out, Graeme, on the Mexico game, it's funny. I was talking to a mate. Spare a 4 for the poor Mexican guy that had to queue up 3 Lions and Wonderwall in the Azteca. He'll be beating them. When all the talk was about the altitude and the home support, which, by the way, I've seen some stuff on socials. The Mexican fans, from everything I've seen, were just excellent after the game, shaking hands.
Yeah, it looked in really good spirits. Everyone was, and I think a lot of them said good luck for the rest of the tournament. So, you can't knock that, can you? And it could have been a very different atmosphere, massively outnumbered in Mexico City.
Yeah, indeed.
It's a recipe for something quite different.
Yeah. Kjetil, bring you back in here. Did you happen to watch the Argentina-Egypt game? Full disclosure from me, I didn't watch that live, which has been a rare thing for me this World Cup, because being in Australia, the kickoff times have actually been pretty good for me, but that one actually fell at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night for me, so I didn't watch it. But I woke up to a lot of the controversy and the reporting. Did you happen to see it, Kjetil, the Egypt-Argentina game?
Yeah, I did. And Argentina looked really, really sluggish.
As they did against Cape Verde.
Everything went
Yeah.
so slow. And it was just individual brilliance and a little bit of luck, maybe. Well, that being said, they produced a heck of a lot of chances, but they were half chances and long shots, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't actually that many clear-cut chances, but they produced a lot, and they kind of commanded the game, but in a very, very slow way. Right?
At the point where Egypt were 2-0 up, they'd only had 2 chances to score both of them, right?
Yeah.
So they were very efficient. I saw from 2-0. So I saw from 2-0, I saw the rest of the match. And I felt really bad because...
all 10 minutes of it. Wasn't it? Yeah. It was 2-0 with 10 minutes to go, yeah.
Exactly. But I felt really bad because I hadn't booked a taxi for I flew on Wednesday. So I sent a message to my taxi driver's Egyptian just to say, can you pick me up? And literally as I sent it, they went 3-2 down. I felt really bad for him. So so we had a chat about it in the taxi on the way there. So
a lot was made of the officiating and particularly the 2-0 goal that wasn't, but then they did go on to score another second. And I thought it was a bit of a disgrace that it was pulled all the way that far back to rule out a goal. I'm like, how does that possibly impact anything that's happened, really? I mean, it's, for me, and I didn't see the game right, but Egyptians, you've got to be pretty livid. You're 2-0 up. You just see the game out, right? I mean, they kept creating chances, is what I've heard. But I think the officiating, whilst it was poor, it just seemed so woefully inconsistent. There was a tackle just now in the Spain game, which wasn't too dissimilar to Jarrell Quansah's one, and no red card, not even a yellow.
And he's got and his suspension's been doubled for the England one.
Yeah,
I did hear that there's the difference between Trump calling him and Starmer calling him is that one got the red card rescinded and we got ours doubled.
Yeah, I mean, it brings me sadly onto the US game in the context of a few things, right? Meaning, look, I would have loved to have seen that game play out without all of the noise. And, Trump, thankfully, has been pretty quiet in this World Cup. Like, there hasn't been anything leading up to that. And then he had to insert himself.
Because he doesn't know anything about football. Not that ever stopped him talking about anything, but yeah.
It was a shame because it clearly, for me, I think it impacted America's performance. I mean, I think all but one of the goals that they conceded was completely avoidable and was just error caused by errors. And it was like everything they'd done well in this tournament, they'd done the complete opposite in that Belgium game, and it had to have played on their minds. Just absolutely ridiculous.
I remember there was a press conference from the Oval Office, and it was like Trump and all of his flunkies, and they were talking about how they'd managed to get the red card overturned, and the referee was very bad, and basically it was a room full of about 14 people, and I think I put on social media, you could write everything that everybody in that room knows about football on a single atom. And they're just talking, and it was just noise. And I think that's the thing for me, is that I hate that interference, and the fact that Infantino let them get away with it as well. He's complicit as far as I'm concerned.
What? I'd be keen, Kjetil, to get your view on all of this. Like, what's the view from you personally and just Norwegian football towards FIFA and Infantino and Trump? And for me, some very clear corruption and in the pocket of certain people and certain decisions going their way. What's your take on all of that?
Well, for me, Infantino is some kind of wannabe Trump, right? He has so much personal pride and so much hunger for attention and power. So he'll do anything to gain it and keep it. So he runs a very, very corrupt system in FIFA, and that's obvious. And the thing is, here in Norway, we have our football president. She is on the FIFA board of directors, I think, or something like that. She has been a vocal critic of how this thing works. But the thing is, they have set up this system like every single little federation of the world has their single vote. in FIFA, right? So even if Europe and other countries that has some kind of moral against this goes together to try to vote him out at the next FIFA conference, we will never get there because he makes sure to give these football federations a good large amount of cash every year.
So all the smaller up and coming nations, they rely on that money.
They get a lot of that money, and they will continue to vote for him as long as they get that money.
I did see this week that there was a tweet from Sepp Blatter criticising FIFA.
How rich?
If he's taken the moral high ground, then you're probably not in the right.
Yeah.
And that FIFA Peace Prize or whatever they called it last year, there was. It's just
embarrassing.
It's so obvious. Also, they just don't even bother to try to hide it.
No,
they just do.
Well, this is it. It's just all right in front of our faces, and it's a real shame because coming into this World Cup, I had concerns and I felt a bit dirty about it. But it was almost like I arrived at this thinking of both things can be true. And it's not the players' fault and it's not the fans' fault. And both things can be true, meaning there can be good football, there can be a tournament you can try and enjoy, and there can be what's going on. It doesn't make it right, but both things probably are coexisting right now, and it's disappointing. But then when
I
Trump
think
really head, it's just so frustrating.
I think that what's frustrated me most is that I think that most of the host cities have been very accommodating and they've really got into the spirit of it, and they've been very good, gracious guests for all the supporters that have come. There's been a bit, we talked a bit about the cost of transport being massively hiked and some basic stuff like that, but it's, you can't get around it. It's a massive capitalist society and they'll do anything for money. So that's not really a surprise. But like generally, I think there's been no trouble. I think everyone's got on really well. Some of the social media stuff from the supporters and the players visiting all the attractions in the areas where they're playing have been really, really great, and it's been excellent. I think a lot of the areas where the matches have been are blue states. They're not like.
And look, he being Trump, he doesn't represent, and I can say this pretty well informed. My wife's American, my kids were born there. I lived there 12 years, right?
You've got an American pop.
Yeah. He doesn't represent what Americans really are. I think there are people that voted for him. I think there are people that voted for him that actually regret doing so, right? And let's not make this a political podcast, but the point I'm going with is, you're quite right, Graeme. The cities that have hosted and been welcoming, that is American. Americans are generally quite friendly and they are nice people. It's a shame that.
So I'm really pleased that a lot of that has been shown on media and social media, because I think that's important. That at some point he won't be the president anymore, and hopefully things move on and we can go back to being some kind of post apocalyptic state, whatever that looks like. But it can't. Where the world's not on tenterhooks the whole time, waiting for the insanity of one man to ruin my holiday and other things.
And ruin my bloody football. Like, it was the one thing that I always had. I can escape the world with football, and now he's inserted himself in that.
I almost hope that England make the final, mostly because I know the England fans will be the ones that will give him the most shit at the very end.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And just coming back around to the football, one thing I have been quite surprised by, and Norway benefited from this, but the South American teams really haven't. There's Argentina that's left, right? I thought I had Colombia beating Switzerland and they didn't. And you've got, obviously, Paraguay did
Uruguay
Germany.
went out quite early as well, didn't they?
Uruguay went out early. Brazil, of course, we've just touched on. I was hoping for a Colombia-Argentina quarterfinal. I thought that would have been a really good spectacle, but of course it's Switzerland-Argentina. So yeah, it's been an interesting tournament in that vein. And then you've had, to this point, you've had some really nice stories, right? Cape Verde and their journey. Even the Mexicans, right? If it wasn't the fact that England were the ones that knocked them out, I'm happy about. But the Azteca, the Mexican fans, like, it was cool. It felt like the World Cup. It felt proper. And in my opinion,
proper football stadium.
Well, in my opinion, the
proper
Aztecas,
football fans,
the Aztecas where the final should have been, in my opinion.
Yeah.
but not in a concrete jungle that is New York. But there we are. So, Graeme, the kickoff, and I'll get your take as well, Kjetil. The kickoff for you, Graeme, is 10 p.m. unless the kickoff gets moved. So where are you watching?
So I at home on the sofa with my wife, my wife is not someone who stays up late, right? She's an early bird to bed, but she's decided she's going to stay up and watch it with me.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm worried that we might end up with a delay because it's Miami, which is notoriously thunderstorms in the afternoon, and there's apparently forecasts for bad weather, and it's already going to be hot, and there's a risk that it could be too hot, and there's a risk that there could be thunderstorms.
But why? Going back to my original point of it being a Premier League type game, and it's a shame it's not in a controlled environment. Why are they playing it at 5 p.m. in Miami in July? It was always going to be really hot.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been an evening game. It would have been much more sensible.
Correct. But for me, it's currently, unless it gets moved, it's a 7 a.m. kickoff Sunday morning, and it coincides with a big day in our house. It's my son's 15th birthday, so let's hope that we get the win.
It's not even really a good time for American market. 5 o'clock, is it?
Not really.
Probably an evening. Would have been better if it was like 8 or something, and it would have been a shit for me to have to watch it at like 2 a.m. or something. But
there you go.
I think I'd rather watch that and have it be a better match.
Yeah, no, indeed.
So,
what about yourself? Where are you consuming the game from, my friend?
Well, I have a wife who's also very interested in football. She's an Everton fan.
Cool.
So, but actually, we have watched the other Norwegian Norway games together. But at this time, I have a friend from my old stopping grounds in Eastern Norway, Oslo, coming up here to visit for the weekend. So we are watching the game at my place, and she is going to a friend to watch the game. So
nice.
But we'll be home. My son is going to a big gathering at the local football stadium to watch the big screen.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those here as well, I think. I'm not...
Yeah.
Mind you, it's super hot here as well. I don't know what the weather's like with you at the moment in Norway, but it was like 34 again here today, and we're not really set up for that kind of weather.
Yeah, it was like 18, 20 something.
Okay.
Daytime here, and
it's 20 at night here at the moment, so it's like... We're just not used to this. It's very weird.
I would take it. The misnomer that everywhere's tropical in Australia is not true. I'm in Melbourne and it's currently 8 degrees and we had frost the other morning. So it's certainly full on winter here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a great deal else, Graeme, to add. But the one thing I will say, I would normally say, Kjetil, to enjoy the game, but I probably don't want you to enjoy the game.
But you guys, but Graeme and Glen, what kind of game do you think it will actually be? Will it be a game where England actually will sit back and counterattack, or will they try to play?
I think we'll sit back. I do. I think we'll sit back, and I think we'll try and hit them on the break. I think that
might be a mistake, though.
It might,
because again, I think that we're stronger in our attacking play, and that we should probably play to our strengths.
But our World Cup so far, Graeme, in my opinion, seems to have been in moments, not in a complete game. And if you take in a microcosm, those 2 quick-fire goals against Mexico, they are 2 big moments. And I can see us trying to do similar to Norway, like just conserve energy, sit and hit them in the transition. And Kane and Bellingham really do seem to have a great understanding.
I think you'll have a better result defensively from having a lower block, especially if Dan Burn is going to play. Because
I agree.
Dan Burn is going to be burned by Haaland if you play a high line and offensive defenders.
Because Dan Burn has a pretty good record against Haaland, doesn't he? And he's physical and he's big, just like Haaland.
So, but he needs to be close. He needs to have him on a leash, right?
Yeah.
If he can.
I think a lot of the game, Haaland's important for the goals, but actually think that stopping Ødegaard is probably at least as important because most of the stuff goes through him. And then obviously the wide players, I think are...
The most important Norwegian player there is actually Sander Berge, the Fulham player.
Yeah.
You saw the one game he didn't play against France, they had so much time around 16-20 meters out. They could shoot and they could shoot and they could shoot, and we conceded several goals.
Yeah.
we never do that. And that is because he covers the ground in front of the defenders so well. He never lets the attacking midfielders have that much time on the ball to get shots off.
He's kind of like Norwegian Palinja in terms of a shield.
Not far off.
Yeah.
I think Elliot Anderson for England's really important. He's been a bit unsung in terms of the work he's been doing in that midfield, so he could be really important as well. Look, for me, I feel really buoyed and really positive after going into the Azteca under those conditions, particularly at altitude and working so hard. That for me, I feel very confident that this team can go on and do anything now. But I felt that before about England, and they've massively let me down. So,
and then you get knocked out by Iceland, or
correct. Let's see what happens. But I think we do have a manager in Tuchel that will make the tough decisions, that will make in-game management tweaks that we didn't see from Southgate.
Yeah,
and that could end up being the difference.
And you can say the same thing about Solskjaer also.
Yeah. Well, perhaps before we close out, we should do a quick round the houses for a prediction. Our start, I think England are going to win it 2-1. I think it's going to go to extra time. I think Kane with a brace. I think it's going to be a really, really tight game, though. I really do. I don't think there's going to be a great deal in this. Graeme?
I think 1-1 at the end of normal time. And then after that, I think it's going to be really tight as well. I really think that there's not going to be much between it. It's going to be one goal either way, I think.
Yeah. Kjetil?
One thing is for sure, we will have goals both ways because both Kane and Haaland is going to score, right?
Yeah.
So, and other than that, it's almost impossible to predict, but I have ended up with a gut feeling that it won't be that tight. It will be either or. It will be 3-1 to Norway or 3-1 to England.
There you go.
It all depends. Yeah.
It's possible. This is the thing. I find it very hard to predict, really.
Well, defensively, England probably aren't keeping a clean sheet, right?
Oh, no. Even before all the injuries.
Yeah, and the suspensions that wasn't overturned.
He would be back for the final, but that seems a long way off right now.
Yeah, it does. We've got a huge...
One game at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. Yeah, and that's what I keep saying. Everyone keeps saying about this potential England-Argentina semi-final, which would be epic, but I'm like, hold on, let's get past Norway first. They're there on merit.
That could well be Norway-Switzerland, couldn't it also?
Yeah,
so
it could be.
That would be something,
There would be some justice if that was the case, to be honest, yeah. I already said to my wife, and she's been really. My wife does not like football at all, so she tolerates me and my love for Tottenham and following England. But she's been quite interested in it, and she said, and I said I agree with her, is that if we do get knocked out by Norway, that I will support Norway to the end of the tournament because I feel like for me it's if it's going to be a European team, it's not going to be France. So. It feels for me, it feels like a good one to follow.
One thing I also don't want to see again is the same final as last time. Like I don't like that. It's like we've seen that. We've seen Mbappe, Messi. We've seen it. Like let's see something new. You know, I'd love to see obviously Kane and Bellingham on that stage, on that level, regardless of what would happen. I
just got this feeling that it's going to be France. I just got this feeling, but it's going to be who's going to be best placed to counteract them.
Spain, France could be a final, right? But it's a semi-final. So if there's one team that can hurt France, it probably is Spain. So let's see.
But I don't think that they've been as strong though. Spain. I don't know what it is.
They had a couple of very good games.
Yeah, very good games. But that's today. That was the first goal they've conceded all tournament. So they've been quite strong defensively as well. But they were today. It was quite boring. They side to side. They try to unpick it, and then they've won that game off the back of some horrific goalkeeping.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's the sub goalie came on. You know the goalie that plays for Man United, Lemend. He came on.
Oh, right, yeah.
Courtois was injured, and it was probably a 20-yard effort, and he shot, and he's just spilled it. He's not got his body behind it, and it's popped straight out to Mourinho, and he's just scored a tap in. So I
thought that by the Egyptian goalkeeper could have done better with at least two of those goals yesterday, or whatever it was the day before. Yeah.
No, indeed. Yeah. Well, look, once again, Kjetil, thanks so much for joining us. I can't say enjoy the game, like I said, so I'll be right there with you, mate, standing. I won't be sitting. I'll be thinking of you. Graeme, I hope there's a good outcome for us, obviously, as England fans, but I'll hand over to you, Graeme, to close us out, mate.
Yeah. Thanks to everyone who's listened in. Please like and subscribe to the podcast to tickle the algorithm. And we'll see you after the game.
And come on, England.
Come on, England. And
he's got his fingers crossed, mate.
Good luck to Norway.
Hi,
Yeah, good luck for Norway. Great stuff.
Let me be the one that you turn to, someone you can rely on, closer each day, home and away.